Hello! Let's take a look at the start of Act 4 in Path of Exile. Also, thank you for watching. Well, we just went through a couple of very scary parts of the game, didn't we? This simple bit of travel seems... Oh, I'll let you make the comparison. I'm not very good at that sort of thing. Oh, zombie blackguards. Well, it's Rayclast, it's gonna happen. So, after dealing with Dominus, what exactly are we still doing? Well, as you probably notice when you go outside in Rayclast, there are still the problems. So we're gonna see what we can do. Oh, Vol area. Well, that's a lot of rather nasty mods on the monsters. So I guess all we have to do is never get hit by anything. Yep, those are chaos damage enemies, alright. I should have known that right after I get a powerful energy shield boost, I would run into a dungeon like this. Oh well. No room for dodging, even. The random number generator really thought this through. Well, that was a little sudden, but whatever. I've got to say, though, I find this Balbus less threatening than usual. Someday I will find a blue Vol gem. Oh well. I guess this build is rather difficult to attack from behind. There are some times after lots of little battles like this where you feel you don't have to worry about... Oh, well, okay, bosses like this are a bit of an exception, but... I knew I forgot something. Well then. As I was saying, at some point you start to feel like these groups of random little enemies are no threat whatsoever. Oh nice, silver coin. That's usually where I see those long-standing characters die in those compilations. Well, okay, map mobs are somewhat different from story mobs, to be fair. All the same, don't teleport into large groups of enemies. It's not recommended. Yeah.
God bless you on this fine day, Exile.
Good day. I'm gonna keep going. Welcome.
We opened the gates to you for 2 reasons only. Dominus and piety. They made themselves our enemies. You made them dead. I have seen the look in piety's eyes. I see the look in your eyes, which it is not as different as I had hoped. No matter. The knife in your hand is better than the spear in the rack. I'm watching you.
No doubt.
Many great things begin at the foot of the mountain, Exile. So too do many tragedies. Often a path becomes a fork, and the echoes of your actions push you down one side or the other.
Well, let's use that silver coin.
Guarding a sculpture of flesh and bone and magic, a master of necromancy seeks aid.
That is exactly the sort of thing that I wanted to see. The Necromancer is the NPC that, when befriended, will sell intelligence items which are useful to characters such as this one.
I am Tasumi, he who peers into the gloom. I stare into the eyes of madness, which I see a hunger for power that Nightmare would most generously satiate, should you choose to ask it. Tortured.
Strangely, the people in this town seem a little distrustful about my blatantly evil witch. Strange people.
You come to us, a woman like us, and yet nothing like us. While we cloak ourselves in tradition and war, you cloak yourself in thaumaturgy and fear. And that is why you will kill the beast within the mountain. Lady Diala, Sakema Deshret sealed the mines, trapped the nightmare within its black den. Act with care.
Ta-ta, not a cockroach.
The short of it, the beast is one of the things causing a whole lot of problems in Rayclast, and it's sealed in this mountain. Well, we're going to...
Let me tell you.
We're going to see if we can go in there and deal with it. But first we need to find the key, which is in here.
How do I keep ending up in such lovely places?
Sometimes I have trouble figuring out whether the witch is sarcastic. Not this time, though.
Life is short. Deal with it.
Oh, the prophecy is right here. So I'll need to do a bit of extra searching, because I definitely don't want to miss out on this subquest. Oh, now that's interesting. I've reached the point in the game where special flasks tend to show up more often. Oh, that's a Harbinger, isn't it? At some point during this recording, I'm going to stop facing Harbingers. And the reason for that is that these special leagues only last for 3 months. And at the rate I'm going, the league will definitely end before the game story does. I wish I could say that I'll miss all of those currency shards dropped by the Harbinger, but at the same time, I've been almost killed by them so many times that I don't think I can bring myself to be too unhappy about it. Fun fact, for several of the Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Boss, I'm sorry to ignore you. Not quite sure how it works. Anyway, in some of the mid-length experience races, the Dried Lake is the goal for people to rush to and then constantly recycle for leveling, because there are a lot of monsters in a fairly large flat level, which makes farming it quite fast and easy. I assure you that I'm not doing this to farm experience. I got plenty of experience in the labyrinth, and yeah, I outleveled these monsters by quite a bit, so I don't actually get much from them. But for someone who wants...
Let us speak of death and desire.
Yes, let's. But for someone who rushed here, it's extremely lucrative. Well, before we talk, I believe I've shown several times how monsters do not particularly care if I'm talking with someone. They are extremely rude while trying to kill me. Okay, I think that's finally done.
Oh good, you're not dead. I've something in mind only a breather can achieve, you see. My sculpture complains that it is thirsty, and yet the usual fare.
Alright, so I need to find those corrupted monsters, kill them, raise them, and then bring them up. By the way, it doesn't matter whether you have a resurrection skill or not. Well, a dead or undead raising skill. You can just click on them to bring them back. Very convenient. There we go. These quests are especially nice because these corrupted monsters bring quite a bit of loot with them. The downside is that they're rather aggressive, so I need to be a little careful as I bring them back.
Death appears to like you, breather. And if death likes you, I like you. Our place in the darkness becomes more secure with every pound of flesh we procure, every juicy infusion my masterpiece receives. Yet I believe it is time that we doubled our efforts. Unlike a oblivious life that struggles pointlessly on, the darkness is closing with purpose.
Yep, that's level 3. That's a level in which you can bring an NPC into a hideout and do a mission every day without having to worry about the randomness. in which they usually appear. As you've observed, I've gotten considerably less than 1 mission a day from them. Oh yeah, I still have a skill point to assign. I have a few things in mind after I've filled up those defensive slots. Dealing a bit more damage would be nice. When I'm not completely over-leveled, it will become fairly obvious. Oh, hi. Why should I? You sure don't. So, Vol has a very interesting story on his own, which is he led the Purity Rebellion. He really hated the thaumaturgy practiced by Malachi and his friends, which is pretty understandable considering the rest of the lore. However, he did plenty of atrocities himself, which is, well, it's how these things usually go.
Thaumaturgy just keeps getting the better of you, doesn't it?
Ooh, burn! Well, you may be just one opportunity short of doing the same kinds of horrific things as Piety, but I do like your sense of humor. I have some things to sell and a plot door to unlock. Interesting, but ultimately not useful. Oh, now that is very interesting. A life flask that increases my elemental defenses while I'm healing? Yes, please. That's the sort of thing that you never find in Diablo games. Well, that's one several century-old seal that people won't yell at me for breaking, for a change.
The rapture is our hope, our desperation. It will set the nightmare to boil, cook that nice big fishy in its own whining brine. Listen with all of your ears, not a cockroach.
As much as I like talking to Piety,
The gate is
not Piety,
and
Diala,
the darkness calls. Good hunting.
I have things to do. This Summon Lightning Golem gem seems perfect,
Go where you are needed.
but I need some dexterity. This is a problem. Well, maybe some gear will fix that problem later on.
See ya.
I find all of the characters in this town interesting to talk with. Unfortunately, this is more of an action-oriented
Be
playthrough.
careful.
Even though talking is technically an action. How much of an action depends on the game, but, well, whatever. Whatever. Technicalities. I'm gonna try out this silver flask. Onslaught, it essentially makes me do everything considerably faster. And I might very well need that.
Yes, little mountain. I'm pleased to see you too.
Well. Wow, these miners must have had a pretty bad time of it. Oh, that's why you didn't die immediately. I'm sorry, sometimes I don't realize I'm fighting a sub-boss when I see one. Am I still over-leveled? Oh, wow, am I. The labyrinth set me pretty far ahead of what I should be. Well, I'm sure I'll catch up soon enough. Go away! Well, they are hitting me back now, aren't they? Just a few seconds ago, you saw that new subclass power in use. My energy shield kept recharging despite my getting hit. And energy shield regeneration is very fast, so I like that ability a lot.
I think it likes me.
I'm sure it does. You're the beast's kind of person, I think. Oh, another bit of lore. This particular mountain cave is where Kaum and his most trusted bodyguards and comrades in arms disappeared into hundreds of years ago. I forget how many hundreds, but it was probably shown somewhere in the lore. This is actually mentioned by one of the NPCs in town, and they wonder whether Val is dead or wishes he was, and I guess we'll find out soon. Maybe not this episode, but in this act at least. So, unique gloves? That sounds like a good deal to me. Ah, okay then. So I had move things around so that I could equip this nice circlet here, so that my 4 links are now my gloves. Now I'll have to go and fiddle around again to use those new gloves, which will increase my spell damage by quite a bit. But I'm not going to do that right now. Well, but my character gets glowy when she's warmed up. And what's this? Deshret is the person who originally put the seal on this whole place, and that's definitely a sub-boss, isn't it? Woodful staff? What? You're just making stuff up now, game. So, you've been here for a long time, and looks like it's not much fun. Let's fix this.
There are so many more trapped spirits in this place. I can feel them.
Well then.
You there. Let me bend your ear for a moment.
I don't like fighting enemies with slowing auras. I've got to say, this lightning build has turned out better than I thought it would be. I was afraid that I'd get a string of low rolls with these lightning damage attack ranges, but so far, well, I've gotten this far at least.
It'll all be over soon.
Don't be frightened, little mountain. I really appreciate the work they did on the script. Oh, what we're here for is to find a machine of some kind. Probably thaumaturgy involved. It's pretty much everywhere. Everywhere it shouldn't be, anyway. And the details, well, if they're important, they'll show up sooner or later. I kind of wish my fire resistance wasn't my weakest at a mere 50%, but whatever.
much clutter.
I'm sure. Well, I guess being a mere 3 levels ahead was too small a gap. Not that I'm complaining about these skill points, of course. Ooh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that node, to be sure. And here we are. There's the waypoint, and here's a big old magical cannon. Or magical drill. Something. Sounds like fun.
You know, not a cockroach. Had I accepted my place, my rapturous role, the beast would be no more, no less, no anything at all. My selfishness tickled the beast's fancy and had laughed the world I knew away. Yet I have had much time to think on my lonesome. Much time to wonder. Wonder if the rapture really needs to eat a gemling queen. Maybe something else will get its catastrophic juices slavering. Something like eyeball soup. The eye of fury. The eye of desire. Pretty gems for our pretty designs. But where could they be? Don't fret now. I have my suspicions. Calm, the sovereign of slaughter. He remains and suffers his delusions right here in the halls of night.
So, yeah, and of course we'll have to fight Calm. Of course. This is a very interesting notebook here.
The rapture device has absorbed its fill of harvested life from fury and desire. It is ready. So am I. I know now that I was born to be the end and the beginning of the Empire. The beast has made this clear to me. As clear and undeniable as the sacrifice I must now make. My Lady Diala, my love, my life's greatest achievement. She must leave me now, for she cannot follow, and she will perish if she remains. And so I will ask of her more than she would ever give. I will betray her. I will break her heart, so that I do not break her soul.
I wonder if this was written before or after he tried to convince Diala to fuel the Rapture device. From the results, it looked like he may have needed her sacrifice after all. And this is Malachi, he's not there to destroy the corruption. That's as much as I'm going to say about that. Well, I think that's enough delving for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.